On behalf of the Royal Society of Canada, I would like to congratulate all of the newly elected members of the College for your outstanding contributions to your respective disciplines. We are honored to recognize the importance of the contributions that you have made to this country and to the people who live in it. Congratulations once again. Honorable invités, chers collègues, ladies and gentlemen. Bienvenue à la présentation des membres du Collège de Société Royale du Canada. Welcome to the 2021 presentation of the members of the College of New Scholars, Artists and Scientists of the Royal Society of Canada. I would like to begin by acknowledging that our virtual host, McGill University, sits on land which has long served as a site of meeting and exchange amongst Indigenous peoples, including the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabe nations. We acknowledge and thank the diverse Indigenous peoples whose presence marks the territory on which people of the world now gather. I am joining you from Halifax and Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. I am grateful to be here and to be sharing this space. My name is Carly Keogh, and I am an Associate Professor of History and Canada Research Chair in Atlantic Canada Communities at St. Mary's University. I'm also the President of the College and am midway through my mandate. I am joined today in welcoming you by two colleagues and friends, Frank Deere of the University of Manitoba, who will be at the conclusion of the COEE, the college's new Vice President and President-elect, and Patrick Leroux of Concordia University, who will be also at the conclusion of this COEE, the college's new Secretary. We, along with 6 other members of the college's council and the wider college membership, want to congratulate you on your election. It is a major achievement, and you should be very proud of what you have accomplished in your careers to enable you to join us. To my colleague, Frank Deere.
Segon sewa gwego, arun yodas yunjats, kanyagahagani itanawagwaho. My name is Frank Deere, and I am an Associate Professor of Education and Canada Research Chair in Indigenous Education at the University of Manitoba. It is a pleasure to be a part of this ceremony and to witness your induction into the College of New Scholars, Scientists, and Artists of the Royal Society of Canada. The RSC College is a space in which each of you will have an opportunity to share, collaborate, and grow as individuals with expertise and commitment necessary to make our college, our country, and our world a better place. I look forward to working with all of you in the future. So in my language, Watwanuradu, welcome to the College of the Royal Society of Canada.
Yawan Kowa, Frank. I'm a professor and associate dean of research at Concordia University in Montréal. Il me fait plaisir d'accompagner nos nouveaux membres du collège dont les candidatures ont été triées sur le volet grâce à leur profil d'excellence académique, scientifique ou artistique. Beyond the symbolic honor of joining the college, these new colleagues will also become part of something larger than themselves. I encourage all of you to become involved in our activities, our conversations, our committee work, and to take full advantage of our 7 years at the college to learn, contribute, and to connect to a network of smart, dynamic, and engaged researchers. Carly.
Thank you, Patrick. We are delighted to have 50 college members present with us today. We are celebrating and welcoming you, an outstanding group of scholars, artists, and scientists whose expertise spans every research discipline and represents universities from coast to coast and organizations. On behalf of the Society, we would like to acknowledge the institutional support of Dalhousie University and Concordia University for this year's college presentation. The RSC is grateful for their continued support and for the support of all of our institutional members. We're going to have 2 messages, recorded messages. The first from Dr. Alice Aiken, Vice President of Research and Innovation at Dalhousie University. So if we can go to that recording, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Dr. Alice Aiken, the Vice President, Research and Innovation at Dalhousie University. As a member of the College of New Scholars, Artists, and Scientists myself, I'm delighted to be joining you today to welcome the Royal Society of Canada's newest college members. Dalhousie University is pleased to be a sponsor of the RSC Celebration of Excellence and Engagement once again this year. Dalhousie is home to 46 Fellows of the Royal Society, as well as 22 members of the College of New Scholars, Artists, and Scientists. There are 4 Dalhousie scholars among the new college members being celebrated here today. We are honored to have our researchers recognized as part of an emerging generation of scholarly, scientific, and artistic leadership in Canada. We are proud of the important work they are doing to benefit society. Work like that of Dr. Lisa Binkley on the repatriation of Indigenous community histories and knowledges, and Dr. Debbie Martin's work with Indigenous communities on the prevention of chronic diseases. Work on materials for clean energy applications being conducted by Dr. Mita Dasog, and Dr. Noreen Kamal's work on optimizing healthcare processes for treating stroke patients. Congratulations to these researchers and all of the new college members on this well-deserved honor. You should all be incredibly proud of yourselves. Thank you.
Thanks very much to Dr. Aiken for that message. Our next message comes from Dr. Graham Carr, President and Vice Chancellor of Concordia University. So let's switch to that video now. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Graham Carr. À Concordia, nous combinons notre engagement en matière de recherche et de création avec un penchant pour l'action sociale. Times Higher Ed puts us in the top 25 universities worldwide for our work in addressing climate change, reducing inequalities, and building smart cities and communities. Universities should be anchor institutions in their communities, working not just across disciplines, but with other sectors to improve people's daily lives and tackle systemic challenges such as EDID. Our 3 new Royal Society inductees are emblematic of our values and aspirations as Canada's top-ranked university less than 50 years old. Jason Lewis, qui est reçu à la Société royale à titre de membre, accomplit un travail formidable et novateur en art numérique, invitant les jeunes autochtones à imaginer un avenir à leur image. Kathleen Vaughan et Tandan Vu se joignent quant à eux au Collège de nouveaux chercheurs et créateurs, dont Concordia était une commanditaire institutionnelle originale et qu'elle continue d'appuyer. Kathleen is an artist researcher who uses visual arts and digital storytelling to advance sustainable and just communities, while Tan is a physician researcher whose biomedical science and engineering research is yielding real benefits in preventive health. I'm proud of them and thrilled that together, Canadian universities are advancing the power of research and the arts on a global stage. Thank you to the Royal Society for honoring those achievements.
Merci, Dr. Carr. Jeremy McNeil, the President of the Royal Society of Canada, has also recorded a special welcome message for you, our 2021 cohort. So please join me in watching Jeremy's message.
On behalf of the Royal Society, I would like to congratulate all of the newly elected members of the College for your outstanding contributions to your respective disciplines. We are absolutely honored to underline the importance of the contributions that you have made to this country and the people that live in it. Congratulations once again.
As many of you know, the college was founded in 2014 with the idea of creating a pan-Canadian organization of Canada's top early and mid-career scholars, artists, and scientists, where there would be no disciplinary boundaries and where there would be unlimited opportunities to think creatively and passionately about how the humanities, social sciences, and arts come together to confront some of the world's most urgent challenges. I was very fortunate to be part of the 5th cohort. And as a member of College Council, I've had the opportunity to see how the college has been working to fulfill this mandate and how it continues to make its mark on the RSC through direct involvement with RSC committees, its public engagement activities, including the work of the COVID-19 task force and international activities relating to the G7 and G20 statements, as well as to developing a program of support our academic colleagues displaced to Canada due to war, conflict, or risk to their person.
As stated in the RSC's strategic plan, our main objectives are to mobilize the membership, catalyze new ideas, and to sustain momentum. This cohort, your cohort, is the 8th one, and we look forward to your contributions. The college seeks not simply the best, but seeks excellence as demonstrated through academic, creative, and intellectual production, as well as the ability to speak beyond disciplinary boundaries and through community engagement. We are committed to inclusive excellence to ensure that we, the college, can say truthfully that we represent the very best of Canadian research and practice. We are dedicated to equity, diversity, and inclusion as the next generation of university leaders. In fact, a number of us already are university leaders. We have a responsibility to lead by example.
This year's cohort demonstrates this balance of scholarship and engagement. So this year, the incoming cohort consists of 50 new members, as we mentioned earlier, 1 non-binary, 31 women, 18 men. 42 identify as English and 8 as French, so we have some work to do there. They come from 27 different institutions and from every region of the country. 8 from BC, 7 from the Prairies, 18 from Ontario, 12 from Quebec, and 5 from Atlantic Canada. As with other years, we continue our tradition of the domino introduction of new college members. So we've invited each new member to prepare an introduction for another member, and we've asked each member to present a link between their research and the research of the person they are introducing. En prenant le temps de découvrir le travail d'un autre membre, travaillant souvent aux antipodes de leurs propres intérêts, nous visons à établir dès l'intronisation une curiosité envers le prochain, un début de dialogue interdisciplinaire et un mouvement vers l'inclusivité effective. Carly.
Merci, Patrick. So let's get started. And I will kick us off by introducing Maxime Descouteaux. Maxime Descouteaux est dans le département d'informatique, Université de Sherbrooke, and a leading expert in neuroinformatics, imaging, technology startups, and scientific popularization. Il développe des méthodes d'acquisition et de traitement d'images pour retrouver l'architecture neuronale et de mieux comprendre comment certaines régions de cerveau communiquent entre elles. Now, what our research has in common is an interest in regional connections, his in the brain and mine in the North Atlantic.
Merci, Carly. Thanks for the introduction. My turn to introduce. J'ai le plaisir de vous présenter Max Liboiron. Max is from the Department of Geography from Memorial University in Newfoundland. Max creates innovative infrastructures for bringing anti-colonial research methods into an array of disciplines and spaces. Elle est connue pour avoir fondé le laboratoire CLEAR. C'est un laboratoire sur la pollution plastique dont les méthodes mettent l'accent sur l'humilité et les bonnes relations avec la Terre. Max has greatly influenced policy on both plastics and indigenous research and invented open source technologies for community monitoring of plastics. Autre que notre prénom Max, que nous avons en commun, moi aussi, dans ma recherche de tous les jours, je développe des logiciels dans le domaine open source afin de promouvoir la science ouverte et accélérer le transfert de nos connaissances vers la médecine et vers la clinique. Donc, bravo Max, et à toi.
Merci, l'autre Max. Tanche Kia. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Catherine NEISH, a planetary scientist focused on Saturn's moon, Titan. Her expertise on Titan spans its making of craters, cratering, I guess, biological molecules, and prebiotic chemistry. And Dr. NEISH is a co-investigator with NASA on the upcoming Dragonfly mission. Between her research on Titan and mine in the deep ocean, we have the widest possible range of research regions covered. Dr. NEISH.
Thank you so much for the warm welcome, Max. Now I'm really pleased to introduce Dr. Carla Prado, who is an internationally recognized expert in clinical nutrition. Her work linking muscle mass to nutrition has had clinical implications for a number of different diseases, including cancer. And understanding muscle mass loss and its ties to nutrition may one day help explorers in my field as they explore the reduced gravity environments we might find in space.
Thank you, dear Catherine. It is my honor to introduce Professor Jude Marie Cette, who is world-renowned for exploring the impact of infectious diseases and natural disasters on population mental health and racial disparities in mental health. My research ties with this work as nutrition plays an important role in the prevention and management of mental health problems in people facing social disparities and poverty. I'm looking forward to exploring ways we can collaborate. Parabéns, Professor Cette.
Obrigado, Dr. Prado. I will introduce Dr. Bain in Creole. C'est un plaisir pour me présenter professeur Nathalie Bain, qui travaille sur biodiversité marine à la côte. Dr. Bain combines indigenous knowledge systems with Western science and draws on theories and methods from the natural and social sciences. Elle travaille à rendre les écosystèmes plus résilients dans une approche d'écologie historique, alors que je travaille à rendre les communautés plus résilientes en utilisant une approche psychosocio-écologique. Congratulations, Dr. Bain.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cette. It is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Anna Weinberg, psychologue clinicienne à l'Université McGill et titulaire de la chaire de recherche du Canada en neurosciences cliniques. She investigates patterns of neural response that make people vulnerable to the development of depression and anxiety, how variation in these neural responses emerges, and how these responses predict mental health across lifespan. Her research provides a clinical psychology perspective that links to my own research interest in how biodiversity conservation affects people, including their mental health. Congratulations, Dr. Weinberg.
Thank you beaucoup, Dr. Ben. In turn, I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Phil DeLuna, a material scientist and an innovateur dans le domaine des technologies propres. In particular, Dr. Luna has developed and now focuses on identifying and supporting new technologies that can reduce or eliminate carbon in Canada's economy and help us meet our GHG emission reduction targets. So for many people that we work with, climate change is a really important source of anxiety, albeit one that is quite warranted. So Dr. DeLuna and I both, in indirect or direct ways, work to improve mental health outcomes for Canadians. Il est aussi le directeur du Conseil national de recherche Canada et a reçu la médaille d'or du gouverneur général. Bienvenue, Dr. DeLuna.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Weinberg. I have the honor of presenting Dr. Keisha Superdent, Director of the Institute of Prairie and Indigenous Archaeology and Assistant Professor at the University of Alberta. She's an internationally recognized Indigenous archaeologist. Her research on archaeological remote sensing is at the forefront of helping Indigenous communities locate unmarked graves around residential schools across Canada. This work is critical on our shared path towards truth and reconciliation. And as a settler immigrant from the Philippines, a personal mission of mine is to increase diversity and equity in all the spaces I occupy, but especially in positions of power within the academy and in clean technology. Congratulations, Dr. Superdent.
Hi, and thank you, Dr. DeLuna. Tanse, it is my honor to introduce Dr. Anna ANDREAZZA. Anna ANDREAZZA est professeure de pharmacologie et de psychiatry à l'Université de Toronto. She holds a Canada Research Chair and the Thomas C. Zachos Chair in Mitochondrial Research, reflecting her groundbreaking work exploring how understanding mitochondrial dysfunction can lead to novel treatments for complex brain illnesses. While my area of research is quite different, I also explore the ways in which small things can impact larger systems.
Thank you, merci, Kisha. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Dalia Khairy, professeur à la Faculté de Médecine, École de Réadaptation de l'Université McGill. Her innovative research is interdisciplinary and bringing together telerehabilitation and virtual reality to integrate it into healthcare of many patients. I can see our futures crossing paths and integrating mitochondrial health into care pathways. Je vous félicite, Dr. Khairy, pour votre travail vraiment exceptionnel. Over to you, Khairy.
Thank you very much, Anna, for the introduction. Il me fait très plaisir de présenter Professeur Stephanie Willis, full professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering at the University of Victoria. Her groundbreaking research uses methods such as tissue engineering with stem cells, as well as a novel bioink she has developed to better understand and treat degenerative central nervous system disorders, such as Alzheimer's and aggressive brain cancers. Professor Willard's laboratory-based research has far-reaching implications for improving the health and well-being of individuals suffering from these devastating diseases. This is similar to the goals of some of my research for people with disability. Congratulations, Stephanie.
Thank you so much, Dalia. And with that, I'm really happy to introduce Dr. Azim Biswas from the University of Gual. His work in developing quantitative tools for mapping soil composition is leading to more intelligent and sustainable use of our land-based resources. This work directly informs policies that drive natural resource management, and this work will lead to a more sustainable future for our environment, similar to how my contributes.
I was very fortunate to be part of the 5th cohort
of the sustainability of the healthcare system. And congratulations, Dr. Biswas.
Dhanawad, and thank you, Stephanie. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Lisa Binkley, an historian and an authority of histories of textiles and needle arts. In her research, Dr. Binkley teaching and community engagement, Dr. Binkley builds relationship between indigenous and settler peoples. Although I am not a historian, but the history is explained through her work on how Mother Earth was taken care of, has many parallels to my work on how we manage our soil for future. Thank you. Lisa.
Thank you, Dr. Biswas. Ani, Buju, Gwe, hello, from the unceded land of the Mi'kmaq. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Alan McGonigal, who is internationally recognized for his critical contributions to our understanding of the local universe, the galaxies that surround our Milky Way. Il est internationalement reconnu pour ses contributions à notre compréhension de l'univers local, notamment les galaxies voisines de notre Voie lactée. Our research intersects through the contributions we make in illuminating the different views and material matters and different cosmologies of the world in which we live. This in the galaxy and mine on Earth. Congratulations, Dr. McConaughey.
Thank you, Dr. Binkley. It is my honor to present Dr. Laura Rosella, a Canada Research Chair in Population Health Analytics at the Dalai Lama School of Public Health at the University of Toronto. Dr. Rosella's research harnesses the power of population data and innovative analytics to help make Canada healthier and a health system function better for everyone. While epidemiology and astrophysics do not often get mentioned in the same sentence, our research overlaps in our use of advanced analytics, since these methodologies do not care as to whether the large data sets on which they are applied refer to the stellar population of the Milky Way galaxy or to the human population of Canada. Dr. Rosella.
Thank you, Professor McConaughey. I am absolutely delighted to present Dr. John Burke, who leads groundbreaking research on the role of lipid signaling in pathogen infections and cancers to inform novel therapies for cancer, malaria, and viral infection. Il a établi des vastes réseaux internationaux collaboratifs pour avancer la recherche vers de nouvelles thérapies. As an epidemiologist myself, I feel the tremendous impact that this foundational research can have on the health of populations around the world. Félicitations. Congratulations, Dr. Burke.
Thank you, Dr. Rosella. It is my great pleasure to introduce Dr. Eric Anobi from Carleton University. Dr. Anobi is an expert in exploring linguistic diversity and its contributions to the human experience. As someone who explores the intricacies of biological diversity at a molecular level, it is exciting to see their approach exploring the key role of linguistic diversity in culture. Take it away, Dr. Anobi.
Tusen takk, John. God dag alle sammen. Det er en ære for meg til å presentere professor Sherry Madigan, Canada-forskningsleder ved Universitetet i Calgary. Sherry is an internationally recognized scholar for her work on how childhood experiences influence the way children learn, their relationship with society, and their mental health. Although my work with minority languages appears in some ways to be different, I admire and value her insights into the importance of childhood experience and her focus on the wholeness of individuals in the context of their communities. Gratulere, Sherry.
Merci beaucoup. J'ai le plaisir de présenter Tien Tan Dang Vu, qui est professeur titulaire à l'Université Concordia et neurologue à l'Institut universitaire de gériatrie de Montréal. Il dirige le laboratoire Sommeil, Cognition et Neuroimagerie. He leads an exciting program of research on something that is essential to all of us, sleep. Specifically, he studies the brain mechanisms of sleep, and his research has opened new perspectives in the investigation of sleep functions and neural networks involved in sleep disturbances. We are both clinicians who are actively involved in translating our research to the public. While our programs of research do not directly overlap, and we have never met before, our lives appear to have overlapped in various ways. We both furthered our clinical training in New England around the same time, and in 2011, we were part of the inaugural group of Banting postdoctoral fellows. I am delighted that our lives have overlapped once again in becoming new members of the college. Congratulations, félicitations.
Thank you very much, Dr. Madigan, for this very kind introduction. I didn't know that we had indirectly crossed paths, so thank you for highlighting that. It's now a pleasure to introduce Dr. Michelle DeWolfe, who is a professor in the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences at Mount Royal University. Do you see me actually? Sorry, it seems that, okay.
We see
Should
you.
I continue? Okay, sorry. So Dr. DeWolfe is a renowned geoscientist whose groundbreaking research studied the formation and composition of submarine volcanic rocks. Son programme de recherche, en fait, s'intéresse également à l'étude des métaux précieux tels que l'or et l'argent. Il y a donc d'importants impacts économiques sur la vie des Canadiens. Bien que je n'étudie pas les métaux précieux, ma recherche s'intéresse à un comportement précieux, le sommeil, dont la perturbation amène d'importants impacts sur la santé qui eux-mêmes vont avoir des impacts sur notre économie via cette perte de productivité et les coûts pour la société. Et donc, despite the fact that we do not study similar topics, we do have a research program that eventually impacts Canadians' life directly and the economy of our country. Thank you for the opportunity, and congratulations, Dr. DeWolfe, for your induction to the College of the Royal Society.
Merci beaucoup. I have the pleasure of introducing Professor Wendy Wong from the University of Toronto, whose human rights-based data governance research is internationally recognized for its excellence. Ses recherches utilisent une approche interdisciplinaire unique pour étudier la dynamique organisationnelle des organisations non gouvernementales, le droit humain international et l'effet des technologies émergentes sur la politique et la société. Although I am not a political scientist, my position as a research chair in science, technology, and society uses similar interdisciplinary perspectives to Professor Wong's. Congratulations, Professor Wong.
Thank you, Dr. DeWolfe. I now have the pleasure of presenting Dr. Adrian Gutta, Associate Professor in the School of Social Work at the University of Windsor. Dr. Gutta is a social worker and health researcher dedicated to promoting social justice and community engagement in health policy and practices. His work has highlighted the social, cultural, and ethical implications of a variety of health issues and practices, including biomedical technologies. Dr. Gutta's research, like mine, speaks to the importance of the role of civil society and the need to critically examine the role of technology. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Wong. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Sari van Anders, the Canada 150 Research Chair in Social Neuroendocrinology, Sexuality and Gender Sex, and Professor of Psychology, Gender Studies, and Neuroscience at Queen's University. Dr. van Anders has advanced new ways of conceptualizing, understanding, and mapping gender sex, sexual diversity, and sexuality, all interests I share, and is also the 2021 recipient of the Distinguished Sexual and Gender Health Revolutionary Award. So congratulations many times over, Dr. van Anders.
Thank you. I'm happy to introduce Steve Di Paola, who uses computational techniques to develop models of human creativity, behavior, and empathy. Mais plusieurs modèles IA d'un genre virtuel sont basés sur des stéréotypes du genre, tout comme les théories du genre dans mon domaine sont aussi basées sur des concepts binaires et des stéréotypes démodés. I develop new models that are accountable to and reflective of gender-sex diversity. Similarly, Dr. Di Paola provides innovative AI models of virtual agents that attend to the complexities of gender in forward-moving ways. Congratulations, Dr. Di Paola.
Thank you so much, Dr. van Anders, for your introduction. I am delighted to present Dr. Ruth Beatty from the Faculty of Education at Lakehead University. As a cognitive science-based AI researcher doing modeling in that space, my lab often points to other ways of knowing outside of Western systems. It is therefore a great honor to introduce Dr. Ruth Beatty, a leader in making connections between indigenous ways of knowing mathematics and Western mathematics, all in culturally responsive mathematic instruction. Working directly with indigenous communities, she is an award-winning settler educator and scholar developing innovative practices in mathematics education that benefit all of us. Congratulations, Dr. Beatty.
Thank you. J'ai le plaisir de vous présenter Dr. Kathleen Vaughn. Dr. Vaughn is the Concordia University Research Chair in Art and Education for Sustainable and Just Futures. Dr. Vaughn is an award-winning visionary scholar, visual artist, writer, and educator whose work reflects a transdisciplinary orientation to the questions of place and belonging and the theme of home, and the teaching and creation of art within the context of social and environmental justice, inclusivity, and diversity. She is a pioneer of research creating methodologies, integrating oral history and visual methods into innovative works of art and scholarship. Bien que nous travaillons dans des disciplines différentes, nous partageons une même compréhension du pouvoir de la créativité collaborative et le privilège de travailler avec des partenaires communautaires dévoués. Dr. Vaughn has worked with children, adults, and seniors in several socially engaged art projects in Montreal, Toronto, Iceland, Latvia, and the Netherlands to explore how socially engaged art engages public pedagogies to build impact and promote change. Congratulations, Dr. Vaughn.
Thank you so very much. It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Ryan van Lieshout, whose internationally recognized research in neuroscience aims to understand the entwined mental health of pregnant or postpartum mothers and their offspring. Son travail inclut le développement d'interventions visant à perturber la transmission intergénérationnelle des troubles mentaux et a eu un impact positif significatif sur la santé mentale des mères et de leurs enfants. My own research is also concerned with positive interventions and well-being, albeit from an arts perspective. Félicitations, Dr. Leishout, over to you.
Merci, Dr. Vaughan. It is a true honor to introduce Dr. Francois Lamontagne, intensive care physician, research chair in patient-centered research in acute care, and professor at the Faculty of Medicine at the Université de Sherbrooke. His critically important work has been published in the very best journals in medicine and has improved the survival rates and lives of countless individuals from around the world. J'ai eu le plaisir de rencontrer le professeur Lamontagne lorsqu'il était de passage à McMaster. Et mes collègues en psychiatrie et moi sommes très reconnaissants envers les scientifiques cliniciens tels que lui qui offrent des soins aux patients avec des troubles psychiques sous-optimaux.
Thank you, Ryan. It is now my utmost honor to introduce Mita Dasog, Assistant Professor and holder of the Isaac Walton Killam Memorial Research Chair at Dalhousie University. Professeur Dasog mène des recherches interdisciplinaires sur le développement de nanomatériaux semi-conducteurs et plasmoniques peu coûteux, pouvant servir, entre autres, à la production d'hydrogène et à l'assainissement des eaux à partir de l'énergie solaire. Despite differences in our respective fields, I believe Professor Dasog and I share a sense that both as researchers and as human beings, interrelatedness and community of purpose are essential to overcome humankind's current and perhaps greatest challenges. Congratulations, Mita.
Merci, Francois. I'll be making the introductions today in English and Hindi languages. It is my great pleasure to present to you Dr. John Axon, who is the head of Sustainable Transportation Research Team at Simon Fraser University. He conducts community-engaged research to inform effective policy design to implement low-carbon solutions for commercial and consumer vehicles and alternative fuels. इन्होंने कनाडा और अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर सरकारों के लिए कई परिवहन नीति संक्षेप तैयार किया है. While my research group focuses on coming up with green fuels in the lab, Dr. Axon's policy work makes it possible to take this outside of the lab and apply it to the real world. Congratulations, and I look forward to working with you.
Thank you, Mita. And I am now very happy to introduce Dr. Melissa Perreault, who is leading important transformative research on the use of brainwaves to improve identification and treatment for people with depression and other mental health disorders. She also identifies sex-specific patterns in stress susceptibility. While I study human behavior and what makes people tick regarding their transportation decisions, Melissa is delving into the deeper functioning of their neurophysiology to help improve human well-being. Congratulations, Melissa.
Chimigwech, Dr. Axon. Tanshi, I am thrilled to present Dr. Noreen Kamal, an engineer and researcher who is doing visionary work to design and improve healthcare systems for stroke patients. These outstanding contributions have made significant impacts on improving patient outcomes in Alberta, and her initiatives are now being expanded nationwide. Dr. Kamal's research is highly complementary to my own research in mental health as we work towards advancing treatments in disease. Congratulations, Dr. Kamal.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction, Dr. Melissa Perreault. I have the pleasure of introducing Pierre-Carl Michaud, who is recognized worldwide in the field of economics of demographic change. Similar to my research interests, he's also interested in health, and there are also parallels in his interest in dynamic programming and micro simulation. Congratulations, Dr. Michaud.
Merci, Dr. Kamal. J'ai le plaisir de présenter la professeure Cheryl Thompson de Ryerson, l'une des principales chercheuses en Black Studies au Canada. Elle est reconnue au niveau international comme une intellectuelle influente sur la thématique des médias et des archives. She is the author of Beauty in a Box, Detangling the Roots of Canada's Black Beauty Culture, and Uncle, Race, Nostalgia, and the Politics of Loyalty. Even though this is not my area of research, there are a number of interesting parallels I can make with my own research, as race cannot be ignored when studying many economic and social issues.
Thank you and merci, Dr. Michaud. I have the pleasure of presenting Dr. Rowan Barrett, Canada Research Chair in Biodiversity Science at McGill University. Il est reconnu sur le plan international pour ses travaux sur la base génétique de l'adaptation aux conditions environnementales changeantes et à l'évolution contemporaine. While I'm not a science professor, as was just stated, my integrated approach, however, to the study of history and culture really does parallel Dr. Barrett's integrated approach to genomics, ecology, and genetics. So my sincere congratulations to Dr. Barrett.
Merci, Dr. Thompson. So it's my great pleasure to present Dr. Jane Heffernan, who is internationally recognized for her contributions to infectious disease modeling. Dr. Heffernan uses mathematical and computational modeling to identify key characteristics of pathogens, individual hosts, and populations that can lead to disease spread, and to determine the public health and medical intervention strategies that are needed to eradicate infectious disease. And I don't think I need to tell anybody how important this work is as we approach the end of our second year of the COVID-19 pandemic. So although I don't work on disease, there is overlap in our research in that I seek to understand evolutionary change in new environments. And this is exactly what we're observing with the evolution of novel COVID variants as the disease spreads through human populations. So I'm very excited to learn more about her work.
Thank you so much, Rowan. I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Heather Castleton, Impact Chair in Transformative Governance for Planetary Health at the University of Victoria. Dr. Castleton est une géographe humaine engagée dans la communauté. She has aligned her expertise with Indigenous priorities, including treaty implementation, water management, and renewable energy development. Infectious disease outcomes are affected by access to water and energy, and these aspects go into the mathematical models that I create for infectious diseases. Congratulations, Dr. Castleton.
Thank you so much for that kind introduction, Dr. Heffernan, and congratulations to you as well. Maintenant, il me fait plaisir de vous présenter Catherine Houdon, de le département de médecine de famille et de médecine d'urgence à la Université de Sherbrooke. Catherine leads an innovative program of research that focuses on improving healthcare integration, health equity, and the health of people with complex needs, both here in Canada and abroad. We share a common approach in ensuring the relevance of our work by using participatory research methods. Congratulations, Catherine.
Thanks, Heather. Thanks, Heather. Sorry, est-ce que j'ai à faire quelque chose ou
Normalement, vous présentez la prochaine personne.
Je sais, c'est parce que ce n'était pas mon image.
Ah, okay.
Je parlais, puis l'image ne venait pas. Là, mais...
Vous êtes en direct. On vous entend, on vous voit.
Vous me voyez. OK, excusez-moi, moi, je ne me voyais pas. Je suis désolée.
C'est correct.
Vraiment, vraiment désolée. Alors, merci beaucoup, Heather. Il me fait vraiment plaisir de vous présenter Dr. Karen Lawford, professor at the Department of Gender Studies, Queen's University. Dr. Lawford is an Indigenous registered midwife in Ontario. Her research focus on gender-inclusive sexual and reproductive health care for Indigenous peoples and maternity care for rural and remote reserves. Dr. Lawford is a founding member of the National Aboriginal Council of Midwives. Pour partager la motivation d'offrir de meilleurs soins pour des populations avec des besoins spécifiques, je suis à même d'apprécier l'importance de ses travaux. Félicitations. Congratulations, Dr. Lawson.
Thank you and good afternoon. Like many primary healthcare providers, Indigenous and non-Indigenous midwives require up-to-date results from medical research to further improve their ability to provide excellent healthcare to pregnant people, their families, and communities. I am in constant wonder at the ability of health researchers to innovate and excel in their fields. For this reason, I am so very pleased to introduce Dr. Bijou Menon, who is a full professor in the Department of Clinical Neurosciences and Radiology at the University of Calgary. As a neuroscientist and professor, he is deeply committed to the development of imaging and treatments that advance excellence in acute stroke care. Dr. Menon's contributions at the national and international stages of technical innovation incorporate artificial intelligence with the practical applications of medical care, and as such, he is most deserving of membership in the Royal Society of Canada. Congratulations, Dr. Menon.
Thank you, Dr. Lawford, and congratulations to you too. So, I will quote Robin Wall Kimmerer from in Braiding Sweetgrass, and she says, "For what good is knowing unless it is coupled with caring?" No work reflects the import of this quote better than Dr. Debbie Martin's, and I have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Martin from the School of Health and Human Performance at the Dalhousie University. Dr. Martin's work with Indigenous people in advancing Indigenous health research that is guided by their own priorities is what I hope to learn from to inform my own work on engaging patients with acute stroke in research that directly affects them. Thanks for all that you do, Dr. Martin, and congratulations on your induction to the college.
Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. Merci, Nakumek. I would like to welcome Isabelle Willette-Morin. She is an associate professor of criminology at Université de Montréal and holds a Canada Research Chair in the developmental origins of vulnerability and resilience. Elle est reconnue internationalement pour ses recherches sur les mécanismes de stress sous-tendant les impacts délétères de l'adversité à l'enfance sur la santé mentale et le comportement. I acknowledge that her research and mine intersect at the level of improving the health and lives of people who have experienced inequities and injustices. Where mine is focused at the level of structures and systems, hers are concerned with addressing how best to ameliorate their effects. Bienvenue, welcome, Isabelle.
Thank you, Dr. Martin. I have the pleasure to present Vivek Shraya, an assistant professor of creative writing and an artist whose work is rooted in music, literature, visual art, theater and film. Son album Part-Time Woman a été sélectionné pour le prix Polaris et son livre I'm Afraid of Man a été qualifié de Cultural Rocket Fuel par Vanity Fair. Par le biais de stratégies distinctes et d'approches distinctes, nous cherchons à mieux comprendre ce qui nous différencie, notamment nos expériences de vie, de façon à promouvoir la résilience de tous. Welcome, Professor Shraya.
Merci beaucoup, Isabelle. I'm so pleased to introduce Dr. Karim Mikhail, un chef de file de renommée internationale en génomique spatiale, the study of how the positioning and movement of DNA inside living cells impact gene stability and expression. I'm excited by Kareem's research because so much of my own is rooted in intricately thinking about embodiment. Congratulations, Dr. Kareem.
Thank you very much, Vivek. It is my pleasure to now present Dr. Cheryl Lightfoot, an international expert in Indigenous politics. Les recherches de Dr. Lightfoot traitent de la revendication et négociation des droits des peuples autochtones dans divers espaces politiques. Of note, Dr. Lightfoot is internationally renowned for innovative research on the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People. Among the points that I look forward to discussing with Dr. Lightfoot are efforts to better represent our society's rich genetic and ethnic diversity in life-saving biomedical research. Félicitations.
Chimigwich, Dr. Mikhail. Bonjour. J'ai le plaisir de vous présenter Dr. Megan Azad, experte internationale dans les domaines de la science du lait humain. Dr. Azad's trailblazing research at the University of Manitoba focuses on how infant nutrition and the microbiome shape lifelong health and is shaping policy and practice regarding infant feeding, human milk banking, and maternal child health care. Dr. Azad's tie to my own research on Indigenous human rights implementation is that for both of us, our research has clear and significant policy and practice elements. Félicitations. Congratulations, Dr. Azad.
Merci, Cheryl. J'ai le plaisir de vous présenter. I have the honor of introducing Dr. Daryl Haggard from McGill University. Daryl is internationally known for her contributions to multi-messenger astrophysics, including the joint discovery of X-ray and gravitational wave emission from the first known collision of two neutron stars. We share an interest in infrared technology and milk, while Daryl uses infrared telescopes to probe supermassive black holes in the Milky Way. My lab uses infrared spectroscopy to analyze super tiny molecules in breast milk. Félicitations, congratulations, Dr. Haggard.
Merci beaucoup, Dr. Azad. Félicitations à vous aussi. J'ai le plaisir de présenter Dr. Andrea Tricot de l'I-Ka-Shing Knowledge Institute et de Unity Health Toronto, qui est une experte mondiale de la synthèse des connaissances et la prise de décision dans le domaine de la santé. Faced with vast troves of new research, patients, clinicians, and policymakers need better tools to make the best choices for individual and public health, as we've all seen over the last few years. Like Dr. Tricot, I invest a lot of time and energy making sense of enormous data sets, hundreds of billions of stars per galaxy to match hundreds of billions of neurons per human brain. But while my colleagues and I argue over how the universe's inner workings unfold, at least I have the privilege that my subjects never show up on the evening news to contradict any of my findings. So welcome, Dr. Tricot, and congratulations.
Merci beaucoup. I am incredibly excited to present Dr. Kareem Jerby, a Canada Research Chair in Computational Neuroscience and Cognitive Neuroimaging at l'Université de Montréal. Il est reconnu à l'échelle internationale pour son programme de recherche à l'interface entre neurosciences et l'intelligence artificielle. Like Dr. Jerby, my research uses artificial intelligence or AI methods to expedite the research process, and we are both incredibly passionate about equity, diversity, and inclusion. Congratulations, Dr. Jerby.
Merci. Merci beaucoup. Thank you. And shukran, Andrea. J'ai l'immense plaisir d'être celui qui va boucler donc la boucle. En présentant la professeure Carly Keogh, titulaire d'une chaire de recherche sur les collectivités du Canada Atlantique. Her areas of expertise are migration, religion, and national identity in the British Atlantic world. She is also a very strong advocate of academics displaced due to war and conflict, Nous partageons tous les deux, je suis convaincu, un engagement fort pour les droits de la personne et en faveur d'une société plus juste et plus inclusive. So thank you so much for all the work that you do, and I'm looking really very much forward to joining forces with your colleague.
Merci, Dr. Jerby. I'm looking forward to joining forces with you as well. And I would just like to note that this concludes our induction of new college members. And I hope you will join me in welcoming them and congratulating them on this really wonderful achievement. And I can't wait to see you all in person one day. Many thanks to those of you watching for joining our celebrations today. Merci et au revoir.